Hi, good evening, and welcome to tonight's session. We have been looking at the action-centered leadership for the past 4 weeks. Now, we have been looking at leadership in a group context when you have been given an assignment and you have been given a team to work with. How do you perform the assignment? That's what we've been looking at over the past few weeks. And so want to welcome you. Those who are arriving, welcome to tonight's session. It's going to be a very interesting session. And just get your friends to come along. Share the link, invite your friends to join in. Just waiting for those who are joining to join. Yes, I can see those of you who are arriving. Okay, good. Mamle is here. Good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, welcome all of you. Thank you so much for coming. You know the tradition. If you are here, announce your presence. The presentation will start in the next few seconds. So just giving you time to settle down and then I can start. I hope to be able to complete the session tonight. If that fails, then we will complete next week. Now, we have looked at leadership in a team context, what we popularly call the action-centered leadership or the functional leadership. Anybody who leads a team, manager, supervisor, head of a department or unit or division, will have a task ahead of them, will have a job ahead of them, will have an assignment that they have to perform. Now, they will be given a team, a group of individuals. They'll be given a group of individuals. They'll be given a team to manage. They'll be given a team to manage and a group of individuals to work with. Now, this team is composed of individual members whose needs must be met. So we said the leader must meet the task needs, the needs of the task. We have worked on that. We've discussed that. And then we went ahead to look at how the leader can meet the needs of the team to handle the team members' needs as a team. That's what we looked at last week. Now, tonight, we are looking at how the leader can meet the needs of the individuals in the team, how you can support the needs of the team members, each individual member of the team. Now, it's important to put this whole thing into context. Every team is made up of individuals. And depending on the type of persons, type of individuals you have in your team, you have a great team or you have a bad team, and you will succeed or you will fail. And so the individuals are extremely important. Now, but it's important for the leader to understand the individuals that he or she is working with. So first and foremost, your success or failure would depend on the people that you are working with. Now, it calls on you to know the individuals that you are working with, How do you know the individual? There are different things that you can know about the individuals. There are many, many, many things that you can know about the individuals. Okay. First and foremost, every individual member of the team, whilst they may be similar to several other people in the team, every member is uniquely different, and it helps a great deal if the leader can take time to study the individuality of each of the individuals in the team. Everybody is different. They may be similar in many respects, but differences exist. Individuals are different, right? Now, I'll first begin with what you call the individual differences, many of them, but we have the overt or the extrovert, okay, those who are very much outgoing, and then we have the introverts who are the very covert people. And so there will be people who will be fitted for certain kinds of jobs and assignments based on their individuality. There are certain jobs, there are certain roles that will be more fitted, that will be more suited, that will be more appropriate to people who are extroverts, who are very much outgoing, who want to talk, who want to be everywhere, who are babbling everywhere, who are everybody's darling. But there are also roles that will be more suited to those who are, or for those who are introverts, who don't want to talk. They do a lot of their thinking within their minds and inside their head, and they are not very much outgoing. There are roles that they can perform much better. So the more you know the members of your team, the better you'll be able to assign them. Now, if we move beyond extraversion and introversion, there are other individuality factors such as neuroticism. For example, that's about individuals who are very much emotional. They can be scared of the smallest thing. They can be easily emotionally disturbed. A small thing can disturb them, and they take a long time to get over issues. They can easily get stressed, over things. So if you know the individuality, it helps a great deal. Another, aspect of it is what we call the agreeableness. There are some people, they always want to arrive at a consensus. They want to agree with everybody. They cannot disagree with anybody. Everybody has to come on board. They want to please everybody, etc. These are all individualities, differences in individual, that when the leader knows these differences, can help the leader to be able to manage them much better, or in a much better way. In addition to these, there are the four temperaments, or what is normally called the personality types: the sanguine, the melancholic, the phlegmatic, and the choleric. The sanguine, just like the extrovert, is everywhere, babbling everywhere, and the choleric is very much focused on task and very competitive and very detailed, and it's like a workaholic, is very much committed to work. Phlegmatic is very much committed to relationships, okay, building good relationship with people, and so on and so forth, and then trying to please people. And then the melancholic is very much detailed, but it does a lot of the things within. It's very much reserved. So they don't come out easily, but they pay attention to detail. So if you take time to know these individualities and differences in your team, it helps you, it allows you to be able to assign them more effectively. So you can assign them properly to what they are best suited for. Then you can see, they can watch performance escalate. So these are individualities. Knowing these individualities, very important that you know these differences. Now, apart from that, you need to know people's skills. You need to know the members' skills. You need to know their expertise. You need to know their experience. You need to know the things that people want to do best. So if you can know what they can do best and assign them to what they can do best, you realize that you're able to get the best out of them. Am I saying don't let them learn new skills? That's by no means what I'm saying. But what I'm saying, though, is that you need to see where they are strong and assign them based on their strengths. Job satisfaction, as we call it, is not just about people performing tasks, but about people doing what they feel fulfilled to do. So if you know the people's strength and what they are best suited to do, and you assign them accordingly, it gives them job satisfaction. When people are satisfied with their job, they will own the job. They will do it as if it's their own work. They will go beyond the employment contract to just do the work because they feel satisfied doing the work. But when you ask them to do what they are not trained to do, what they don't like to do, and what stresses them, they are not going to get the best out of them. So before you assign them to new roles, new and unfamiliar roles, you want to first make sure that you know what they can do very well and then assign them effectively. Then, of course, you have to know what motivates each individual. You see, some people are motivated by words, some people are motivated by action, some people are motivated by gifts, and so on and so forth. Even words, you have to know the kind of words that motivate somebody, and so on and so forth. Some people will just like it if you praise them in front of a group. Other people don't like it when you praise them in front of a group. They want you to do it personally, privately. They want you to send them letters, to send them email, to send them text messages and WhatsApps, and write handwritten, notes, send them handwritten notes of appreciation and acknowledgement. So knowing these differences allows you to be able to handle each person based on what they best like. So what is it that motivates and inspires them? Then again, about the differences, everybody has got their own individual method of learning. See, people have different ways of learning. So when you're even coaching them, if you know their learning style, it helps you to adapt the learning style to be able to suit their condition or their convenience. These are just a few of the things that you have to know about each individual. Now, number 2, you'll be working with the people. And your work as a manager or as a leader is a facilitator, is an enabler. You are not supposed to do the work yourself. Of course, you should be doing part of the work yourself. But as a manager, your performance, if I'm assessing your performance will be based on what you do yourself as much as what you supervise, what you enable other people to do, what you facilitate other people to do, what you support other people to do. So as a leader, you will be supporting your team. Your role is a facilitator. Your role is a supporter. Your role is an enabler. You are not supposed to be a know-it-all, do-it-all, lone ranger, master of jack of all trades. No, the people in your team, they are differently gifted and they have different abilities, different expertise, different knowledge base and experience. Your assignment is to know who has what, who can do what, so that you can assign them effectively. So your role is to facilitate the work process. Yours is to be able to remove obstacles in their way so that they can go. If they are running, they can run. If they are walking, they can walk. If they are jumping, they can jump. If they are sitting down, they can sit down properly. But you are supposed to remove frustrations in their way. You are supposed to enable them. You are supposed to encourage them. You are supposed to inspire them. You are supposed to build capacity for them. So your work would be, okay, what kind of personal development do you require as an individual that I'm supervising to be able to succeed? Do I need to put you through some training? Do I need to recommend you for some training? And what is your career goal? How do I support you to be able to realize your career objective? And so you'll be asking a number of questions. And of course, if you read my book on leadership stripped bare, on which these presentations are based, which is here now, leadership stripped bare. Now, in this book, I treat under what we call the functional leadership. I look at the team, how the leadership, how the leader can support the task and the team and the individual. And under individual, I share my experience about some of the questions that I ask those that I supervise. I always ask questions because I know that no matter how good I am as an individual, I'm like a football coach, and the value that people give to me will be based on the value that the members that I manage generate for the organization. So if I'm doing personally very well, and the people that are working under me are doing bad, they are doing terribly, then of course that creates a dent on my image. as a supervisor. So it's important to understand this dynamic. So some of the questions I ask will be, number one, do you like your job? Which aspect of your job do you like most? What excites you most? What is making you happy about this role? Then, what aspects of your job do you not like? Which aspects frustrates you? Are there any frustrations you face? Am I the source of the frustration? Or am I the cause of the frustration? Am I frustrating your work? Do you like the way I'm providing support for you? Am I providing sufficient support for you? Are there aspects that areas where you expect me to provide support which I am not able to provide the support? And how best can I support you? How best can I support you? So that I allow them also to ask questions. But if you ask these questions, it's important. And not many people ask these questions because, see, normally when you ask this question, you need to be very courageous and very confident because the answers you get, they may not be answers that you like. They may not always be answers that you like. Some people can be very blatant and they can be very undiplomatic. And they will just say it as it is. If you are not careful, they can break you down. But you don't need to take them personal. You just have to accept them. Of course, those that you think are not like you, you don't accept. But those that you think are like you accept them. Then you can work, become a better person, become a better supporter, become a better facilitator so that you can support the team to be able to succeed. Now, so those are the questions you have to be asking as a manager, as a supervisor, with people working with you. Number 3, apart from questions, you have to be doing what you call regular coaching. Regular coaching sessions, meetings where you coach people. And these may be group coachings and where you call the people and you draw attention to something they have done and help them to improve upon it. They write a memorandum or a memo for you, and then you point them to the area where they can do it better. They submit a project report or they submit a policy proposal, and then you guide them as to how to improve upon the quality, etc., etc. This is coaching, but there can be a variety of coaching sessions. It can be what you call the mundane coaching session, normal coaching session. But there can also be coaching sessions where you are identifying the what you call the high flyer. Okay, the high flyers. They are people who have a lot of promise. They may be young officers, they may be junior officers, but you see that they are so ambitious. They are problem solvers. When you ask them to do 2 things, they do 4, 5, 6 before you finish giving them assignment. They have completed. These are high flyers, and as a manager, you should never quench the fire in them. You should rather inflame the fire so that you can support them to become high flyers. You can support them to move forward very quickly. To be able to, your role is to be able to support people who can do extremely well and recommend them for promotion quick, so that they can solve problems in the organization. Don't feel inferior. Don't feel threatened by these people. Some of them can do some things you can't do. Can solve some problems you cannot solve. Some of them can do some IT things and solve some mathematical problems and complicated equations. You should be proud. You should see yourself blessed that these people are in your team. See, so your coaching session will be, apart from mundane sessions, should also include coaching high flyers. But you will also be coaching those people or those employees who have issues with performance. We say those who are on performance support, okay, or they have performance problems, okay. So you'll be correcting any deviations in their performance from what they are supposed to do. But you will also be coaching people, helping them with their individual problems. Some people may be going through crisis. Some people may be going through some personal issues, family issues, problems, etc. So as a leader, you become like a multi-talented person, counseling here, small family issue. You see the person comes to work, the person is sad, is not normally known to be a sad person. It's time for you to call the person and say, everything okay? Any problem? Is there anything I can support you? So your coaching sessions will not just be about work, but also about anything you feel is confronting the individuals that may impact their performance or impact on their performance. That's about the coaching sessions. Okay. Now, number 4, you will be helping them to solve conflicts or resolve conflicts. See, among the team members, you see, wherever people converge, the competition can never be underestimated. People are competing, and people are competing for what? For your attention. They are competing for what? For the resources, the limited resources. They are competing for what? For the limited space and for the limited roles. So there will be competition. And these are individuals, different people from different family backgrounds, different religions, different cultures, different homes, different orientation, different value systems. But they all come together and they are all trying hard to work together. So conflict will be inevitable. And one of the things you'll be doing very well will be to spend time helping to resolve conflicts. Conflicts, they are like bush fires. They can be started by the spark of a matchstick, but if they are not quenched, if they are not nipped in the bud, they can assume very ferocious dimension, and they can be very deadly with very devastating consequences. So it's your responsibility as a leader to spot conflicts just when they are about to happen, and then you deal with them before they become too difficult to handle. Now, there's a variety, or there are a variety of models and theories for handling conflicts. I'm not going to go into all the complications, except to use a very simple model, which is a 7-stage model for managing conflict. Very simple. The first stage says that there is what you call a latent conflict. Latent means that it's there, but it is very benign. It's not showing very clearly. It's not threatening, but it is there. How do you know it's there? You see two people becoming too careful. When they are talking to each other, they become extremely careful. And you see that they're trying to keep their distance. You see they're becoming extremely formal. No joke, nothing. And and so that can be a latent conflict. If you are smart, you'll find it. From the latent stage, it gets to what you call the emergent. It's now emerging. Now, at this stage, you begin to see occasional, signs of disagreement. Occasional signs of disagreement, distance being kept, each other trying to be avoided, and occasional clashes, but very mild and benign. But as soon as the clash comes, people, they try to patch up very quickly, and then they behave as if nothing is happening. There is something happening, and that if you are a leader, it's up to you to know that, hey, if I don't quench this, if I don't stop this, it's going to lead to something more serious. Now, if you don't deal with it at that stage, it moves from the emergent stage, right, to what you call the escalating stage. Now, at the escalating stage, it becomes clear that there is conflict. It becomes clear that there is conflict. The people are avoiding each other. Occasionally, they throw words at each other. They try to defend themselves against each other. They try to prove each other wrong. Sometimes they use words and so on and so forth. And sometimes they can use physical abuses and so on and so forth. Then, if it's not resolved, it gets to what you call the stalemates, where they don't talk. And that's very deadly, because if two people are on the team and they are not talking, and if my output becomes the input for another person, and the two are not talking, they are not communicating, that's very deadly for the work. It's very, very unproductive. It's very, very unprogressive. It's very retrogressive for the team progress. So you need to look at it. So if you don't handle it at the escalation stage, it moves to stalemate where people just, well, they shut off and they coil back into their shelf. Nobody wants to talk to each other. They are trying to avoid each other. They don't, you will see it. It's clear. Now, at the next stage, you should take the step to do what we call de-escalation. Okay, de-escalation. That is where the members realize that, hey, this conflict is not going to help us, and they are trying hard to come back. Get rid of the conflict, resolve the conflict, and move forward. So they both become aware that this conflict exists, and they try to say, okay, how do we stop the conflicts? How do we stop the conflict? That's the de-escalation stage. Now, from this de-escalation stage, if it is done properly, then you move to the next stage, which is the conflict resolution stage. The conflict resolution stage. At this stage, they sit down with each other and they try to resolve. They take steps. They take steps to make sure that they deal with the conflicts. Okay, the things that they were doing against each other, they try to stop. Then the last stage is what you call the post-conflict peace building process. Now, if they resolve the conflict very well, it is good, but it doesn't end there. They have to build peace after the conflict session. If they don't build peace, the conflict can come back. So they have to build peace. They have to become friendly. And most people try to do and become friendly. Take each other for lunch, buy gift for each other, birthday gifts, say hi, etc., and become informal with each other until they get back to normal working relationship. So, well, there's a lot to talk about, but I think this is enough for this session. And remember, we've been trying to say that individuals are the tools, the human resources that you have. Your success or your failure depends on them. And so you have to know how to manage them. But you cannot manage what you don't understand. So your first step is to take steps to understand the people, their individuality, personality differences, temperamental differences, etc., their expectations, their experiences, the expertise, the skills, the knowledge, the abilities that they have, what they can or cannot do, what they are excited at doing, what motivates and does not motivate them, etc., etc. These differences are very important. Their personal development plans and their career goals. Understand all of these. And number 2, remember your role is a facilitator. You are to be able to facilitate the process of work. And you are to be able to build capacity for them. You are to be able to be an inspirer for them so that they can do the work and do it very well. So that's your work. That's your work. And you do this by asking a number of questions. What am I doing to support you? What aspect of the job do you like? It's all these questions, you ask all of them. And the answers to these will help you to become a better football coach, better facilitator. And then we realize that once you understand these questions, then you should provide better coaching for them. And there will be normal coaching sessions, coaching for high flyers, coaching for those who are suffering in terms of performance, and coaching to deal with personal issues. But once it's not just about skills, coaching will help them to improve upon their skills. But there are also relationships that have to be built. And that relationship can be marred, they can be destroyed by conflict. And so the leader will have to find a way of resolving conflict when they arise. And that conflict starts at what? The latent stage, the emergent stage, then it gets to the escalation stage, it goes to stalemate, it goes to de-escalation, conflict resolution, and then post-conflict peace building. That's the thing. If you do these 4 things, I believe that you'd have been providing the necessary support for your team members to be able to do the work well so they can get the expected results. So in conclusion, we can all become better managers. We can all become better leaders. You see, the difference between just the manager and the leader is that people submit to the manager because they have to. But if you become an effective leader, people willingly submit to you. They like you. They want to work for you. They own the job. They get excited. Sight of you or remembrance of you, memory of you alone creates an excitement and motivation in them, and they want to do the work. And they want to have you. They will say they will want to have you as their manager all of the time. When you are leaving, they are weeping, they are crying. So we can all become effective leaders. Nobody is created or is created a better leader than the other person. We all learn it. We can all acquire it. So please get these lessons and share them with those who need them, with supervisors, with managers, with pastors, with leaders in church, men, women leaders, youth leaders, etc. Wherever at all you find them, political party leaders, politicians, public sector leaders, managers, directors, board members. Share these lessons with people who you think can benefit from them. And I believe that with that, we can all become better leaders. Remember, when we learn, we change. And we change in three main ways. We can stop some habits. We can build or start new habits. We can strengthen existing habits. So please do change. Finally, don't forget to send your comments. Don't forget to send your questions. If there are areas you want addressed, please feel very free to let me have these areas. And please do share with your friends. Click on the share button to share. Thank you so much for coming around. And I look forward to seeing you next week. God bless you. Bye for now. Bye-bye.